We have finished projecting every single Power Four team's record. So let's go ahead and take a look at the conference standings, starting with the ACC. All of these records are not our official predictions, but this is based off of the percent chance that we gave each team to win each game, all added up to get a total record. So these are the ACC standings. Clemson and Georgia Tech atop the conference. Georgia Tech definitely a bit surprising that they're all the way up there. But again, we were pretty high on this team this year.
Yeah, after that, you got Miami, SMU, and Louisville, three teams that are either definite contenders in the ACC or a little bit of dark horse contender, that being mostly Louisville, but all teams with a lot of potential, teams that are either bringing a lot back or made some big moves in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I'd say the next group really here is going to be Florida State and North Carolina. These teams really could go either way in 2025. They just so happen to end up next to each other in our standings. And then Cal right behind them. This one definitely a bit higher than we would like with the projected record. A lot has changed with this Cal team since we originally did their video back a couple months ago. Jaden Ott transferred out, as did a lot of other players. A lot going on at the school right now. This is one of the projected records I would expect to see fall when we do our official predictions, just coming up here in about a month.
Yeah, we can call that tier of three teams the chaotic outside distraction tier, because all three of those teams are dealing with a lot of stuff outside of just the football field. After that, though, you got Virginia Tech, Pitt, and Duke. All three of these teams, I think, are going to be really good. We're going to see at least Pitt and Duke move up these standings a lot more than where they are now. We didn't fully take into account how much of an impact the returning production that Pitt is bringing back could have on this team. Eli Holstein could easily turn into a top five quarterback in the ACC this season, and Duke is kind of in the same place. They're bringing in Darian Mensah from Tulane after a very fantastic season. And they've just been around that 9 win mark the last couple of years. So both these teams could be potential dark horse teams in the ACC. Maybe not Pitt as much because we saw that they did have a rough stretch last year, but could provide some chaos in this ACC conference.
Yeah, and I think there's a significant drop off after that. Going to Virginia, uh, the Cavaliers, not really ever a great team. You're probably going to see them pull off one upset, but other than that, I do think that, a bowl game is definitely not out of the question. But this is where we're going to start to see some of these teams struggle. Syracuse kind of in that boat as well, except even a little bit worse than Virginia. I think they're going to struggle quite a bit this year with Kyle McCord gone.
And then we get to NC State. Now, NC State's an interesting one. They're just such a young team, especially returning quarterback CJ Bailey after a freshman year that saw him produce very good numbers. But with them being so young, their ceiling is very, very high, maybe getting to, I think we said 8 wins when we did our projections, but they could also get to 3 or 4 wins with their schedule. So we really don't know what to expect out of this team. So we could see them move up just a little bit, maybe on par with Pitt and Duke, or we could see them stay where they are right now and struggle like we think Syracuse will.
Yeah, and then I think that last group of three is pretty similar here with Stanford, Boston College, and Wake Forest. All three of these teams, I would be surprised if they aren't the last three teams in the ACC in some order this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Just their rosters have just been gutted. And Boston College is probably the best out of those three, but I think they have one of the harder schedules out of those three schools as well.
Yeah, I'd say maybe the only other team that could push down into that is Cal, just with everything that's gone wrong. They're going to fall a decent amount. So Boston College and Cal play each other early in the year. That could turn out to be a huge game for not finishing in that bottom three. Taking a look at the ACC championship, though. It is projected to be Clemson and Georgia Tech. Now, keep in mind, this does not mean that we actually are predicting Clemson, Georgia Tech for the ACC championship. This isn't based on, head-to-head wins or who actually won the games. This is simply the percent chance that they had to win each game added up, and Clemson and Georgia Tech had the two best conference records. So, in this hypothetical scenario, I do believe that Clemson is the better team.
Yeah, I think they are just a little bit more experienced and have played a lot better competition than Georgia Tech. Both are returning their starting quarterbacks, Cade Klubnik for Clemson, Haynes King for Georgia Tech. Both use the transfer portal very well, getting weapons. But I think the biggest difference maker is the defensive line that Clemson possesses. I forget who the players are, but I believe they have two projected top five picks next year on the defensive line alone. So I think Clemson's defense is going to be what sets them apart this year. They might be in contention for getting the number one seed at some point next year if Ohio State or Texas start to struggle a little bit. Penn State maybe is not as good as we think they are. This is going to be a dangerous Clemson Tigers team.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, we are not currently predicting Clemson to win the conference championship, but we are projecting a Clemson ACC championship. There's a difference between the two words. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video.